Hey, woohoo! Welcome to Biggie's Gospel Show. It's always a pleasure having you. It's always a pleasure bringing the word to you every week. I hope you had a blast this past week. Yes, I did myself. I had the privilege to attend the Limit X concert that was happened on 29th April 2022. This is for those who will be watching the video many years from now. Limit X was an old boy band group hailing from Uganda, but I think they were based in London, something of that sort. And yeah, it was beautiful. These are the songs we used to dance to when we're in our mother's bellies, and it was just nice seeing all these legends dancing, up close. Dancing up close. This is wonderful, wonderful anointed men. Yes. Let me dive straight up into the word. Of course, I'm coming to you live from my bedroom. Yes, and today I would like to talk about not losing the wonder. Not losing the wonder. What do I mean? The microphone, I hope it's over. Yeah, not losing the wonder. What do I mean by that? Let me see. You remember when you prayed for a child? We held hands. This is of course poetic, but you get the point. We fasted and prayed when you needed a spouse, when you needed a job. We went to the prayer mountain, when you needed that house, when you needed that TV 72-inch screen, when you needed that car. And now fast forward, you're praying for a child, you have 3 of them, right? You have a baby, you have a 12-year-old, you have a teenager. The baby, you are so hell-bent. You are so tired of changing the diapers. The child plays a lot, comes back in the evening mad everywhere. You're just tired. You're tired of it. You're a teenager, you're talking about school and the course they should take in their lives, but they don't feel like doing, apologies, my hair is always, they don't feel like doing what you want them to do, including their chores. And so what's happening now is you've lost the wonder. You're like, oh God, these children. These children, why these? That you're now starting to envy the women without kids, and you've forgotten the wonder that came with not having to envy. You remember those days when all your girlfriends used to call you for baby showers, and then you're always contributing financially, and then bridal showers, you have to call them. Oh, sorry, they were calling you. You had to get money, and then you just kept on saying, God, I received this. You used to read scriptures like, children are a gift from God. Blessed the man whose quiver is full of them. And now from the blue, like, oh, God, look at you. Your head is so big like your father's. Look at you. Where did you get those bones? And in the end, parents end up saying words that they'll regret, or saying things that are going to alter or make their children stray from their rightful destiny instead of being the prophetic people they're supposed to be. So how can a mother, how can a father regain the wonder? Because if you have the wonder, you will spank the child. You do whatever you have to fix the child. But then some things don't need spanking, like a baby, spoiling themselves in a diaper. So that needs a grace. I don't know, but just remember how you sought the Lord for that child. Just remember how you prayed for that child. Just that thought alone will give you confidence, will give you will toward your head to a thanksgiving mood. And suddenly the frustration that you were going through, that you felt that every child was bringing you, will suddenly be lifted. Fix that wonder. Remember that wonder. Remember when you cried to God. Remember like Hannah, when you said, God, give me a child. Was it Hannah? Yes, when Penina was showing off. Hey, I'm imagining Samuel has grown. You're like, oh, this child is of, where does he go? I'm imagining Sarah. She has received Isaac, but now Isaac is not doing house chores. And so she starts complaining. But then she has forgotten how people her age were grandmothers for she didn't have a child at all. I'm not saying it happened, but I'm giving an example, right? I'm giving a critical example. So do not lose that wonder. If you have a child and that child is trying to misbehave, instead fix the wonder, then get the word concerning children. If you remember, Proverbs tells us, raise a child in the way that they should go, so that when they grow, they won't depart from it, right? And so for the children that seem to be misbehaving, well, God has given you authority to spank them or align them in the way, but it is wrong for you to start complaining. It is wrong for you to start regretting answered prayers because you were praying for a child. Amen. You were praying for a child. You were praying for children. God has given them to you, but then you've forgotten the wonder. So, yes, fix that wonder. Let me give an example of going on from that. Don't worry, I have my notes here so that I don't miss anything. If you, the other example I gave was you prayed for a spouse. Let me go with the spouse. I don't know. One day we shall all be there. I'm not married yet. So you could be watching and you're married, getting married soon. But then from the blood, imagining a guy and maybe, just maybe, you're chilling with the big boys, weekend, and then you're coming back late. Okay, I'm just giving an example. And then your wife starts complaining, it's like, you're coming back late. And then you start saying, meanwhile, you got married, let me say 35. All those years, your girlfriends were getting married. You are not going anywhere. They were laughing at you. Your parents asking you, when are you going? Hey, you called on the Lord. You called on the Lord. You called on the name of the Lord. And finally, God gave you a husband. But from the blue, he has done one simple thing. Now you're threatening to leave him. You've forgotten those sleepless nights. You've forgotten those jokes of your friends who kept on asking you, when are you getting married? You've forgotten the wonder that came. So some of us, yes, we are human. We get jealous. They're inviting you for another wedding meeting. You're like, another one. I'm not going. No. Now, suddenly you have the husband. You're taking the stuff for granted. You got the child, you're taking the child for granted. You got the husband, you're taking the husband for granted. And God is telling you, remember that wonder. And for marriage, it's for marriage. I'm imagining you're a guy, and then you same scenario. But then the lady came along. The lady is giving birth to your children, and she's starting to lose weight. She's not to lose weight, gain weight. She's losing her figure eights, and then you start straying, looking for these smaller ladies, younger ladies, instead of fitting. Okay, help her get back into shape if you want, or control yourself from having, much offspring. Not that it's a bad thing, but do not, just because your wife has lost shape, just because your husband has lost shape, it doesn't mean they're no longer worthy or do whatever you have to do to fix that. But it shouldn't be, because if you lose the wonder, right? We don't want you to end up in divorce, because if divorce becomes an option, and then you remember the wonder, you remember the sleepless nights when you called upon the Lord, and then how God worked stuff out, and then now you're married, just that thought will save the marriage, if you get my point. Just that thought. It's more of like, it's like how David says, I would have died if I had not believed to see the goodness of God in the land of the living. I would have died, right? So I'm giving a scenario. People could have, I am sure there's so many divorces and then that happening in the world. I know divorce is not God's will, but people have lost the wonder. People have lost the awe of, oh God, thank you for my wife. Because over the years now it has become granted. So you're, she said, you're not loving her. For the woman, maybe you're not submitting to him. You suddenly now see that maybe all along you were just praying to God to tick that thing. You're not praying for purpose or something. Remember the purpose of the marriage. Remember all those beautiful things. Remember the scriptures that say, he that finds a wife finds a good thing. Even now that she seems to have lost weight, changed shape. Remember that she's a good thing that you found, You guys stopped going on dates. What happened? You've lost the wonder. You've lost the revelation of being married. If you read Song of Solomon, you see how the church and Christ and the church, the groom and the bride are, dilly-dallying and lovey-dovey. Dilly-dallying, I don't know if that's the right concept. But you can see that, the wonder, she's waiting for him, he's waiting for her. They're not stopping to date, so get back to that. Preserve the wonder, fix the wonder, and the flows will fade. The awe of being married, how beautiful it is to be married. Because if you don't, the widows are going to make you remember it. And you wouldn't want to be in that position. That job, maybe you pray to God for a job, a job, and from the blue, work is getting hectic, you're leaving late, you start complaining. You've been praying to God for, and some of you have been praying for that, that dream job, that perfect, that job. But from the blue, maybe they haven't paid you for 2 months only. Okay, I've not experienced that, but don't take it the wrong way. Maybe your payment has even delayed just for only 2 weeks. Maybe they're throwing tantrums. Hey, you've not been fired. Just your payment has taken just small days to come through. You're there throwing tantrums. You've forgotten how it felt not to be unemployed. You've lost the wonder. You used to look at your friends that they're going to work. You're just there. I don't know, with your CVs, and no one seems to be taking you in. So, what happened? Don't take your job for granted, because remember how you prayed for it. Remember how you fasted for it. Remember how your friends used to mock you and laugh at you. You remember how those relatives came and said, Janet, you know these conversations, guys. You know them. Don't lose that wonder of a job. You prayed for the house. Suddenly, everything is irritating you. Water bills, electricity bills, bills, and you're starting to think, the blessings now are curse. No, it's not. Remember how you prayed for that house. Remember how you used to confess, hey, God, you're giving me houses I didn't build. What? Now God has given you. Now you're there. Oh my God. God, it's too big. It's too. Oh, you want to go back to rent? Tell me, you want to go back to rent? My friend, don't lose the wonder. Don't lose that. It's not funny renting. It's not. I refuse to rent in Jesus' name. But don't lose the wonder, because once you remember how you pray to God for that, and the effectual fervent prayer of a righteous man avails much. So expect your prayers to be answered. Now, when they're answered, now don't take the things for granted. Don't go. It's like you're going back in reverse. Give thanks. It's like that verse that says, "Give of eyes, doesn't he see? Give of ears, doesn't he hear?" It's like, if God gives you a womb, he's going to give you a child. If he gives you a child, he's obviously going to provide for it. He's able to do exceedingly abundantly above all you can ask or think. So for that house, he will provide for it. You prayed for a TV, he gave you. You prayed for a car, the car came. Now you're complaining about fuel prices going high. Hello? You forgot to know your Father is. He owns everything you see. Remember how you prayed for that car. Remember how you spent confessing, passing by Spear Motors, and then Googling which Mercedes Benz you wanted. Now it seems to be a curse. My friend, look at the people being hit by rain on Monday morning in April. Get back that wonder. Not everyone has a Benz. Not everyone is driving as you are. So it's a blessing. It's a blessing. It's a blessing. Every gift you have, the child, the car, the house, the spouse, the job, the car. Everything. Get back the wonder. Get back the remember the first time you got them. Remember the first time God came through. I'm a writer. I've always been writing. I wrote for a long time in black books, with ink. And then of recent I was here with the published books, right? Where's I don't know if I can reach one. Here it is. Yes, this is Bible Boy. This is a copy, but what I'm saying, so I was looking at all these copies that are just under here, and I was just saying, God, they are not moving, they're not shifting, people are not buying. And then God said, hey, remember remember when you used to pray to me, right? Because this is how I had written the book, in ink and stuff. Now it's typed. It's typed. So it's typed out, right? It's typed out. So God is saying, just remember the first time you guys, this was a dream come true. When this thing was published, it's like, wow, like, I've made it in life. And suddenly I'm here complaining. God just reminded me how I used to pray just for you to get from ink to this stage. And there was a wonder that came with that, and I found myself giving thanks, and saying thank you, because he can't get me from written ink, right, to typed ink, and then the book just stays there on the shelf. Of course not. He has already figured it all out. He is the author and finisher of your faith. I know God to be this kind of person who, how he says in Isaiah, I'll make all crooked places straight, right? So as you're there, Benon, as you're there, whoever is watching, God is already 50 years ahead in your life, right? So even those things you're crying about, he has already fixed them, because he's already fixing you 50 years from now. I hope you understand. Which means even before you were born, like 50 years before you were born, he was already there calculating the moves, saying you're going to do this, you're going to be this. He was plotting all these beautiful moves out for you. So you don't need to worry. Humility to God is, as 1 Peter 5, 6, 7 says, therefore humble yourselves under the mighty hand of God, that he may exalt you in due time, casting all your cares. So cast all your cares to him. Cast all your children to him, your spouse, your job. Fix it. Okay, fix it with scriptures, of course. I'm just trying to keep us, to move us from the place of complaining to a place of gratitude. And one thing that I've discovered that has saved me, that has moved me from the place of complaining to giving gratitude, is that of finding the wonder, finding the miracle in that child, finding the miracle in that spouse, finding the miracle in that job, finding the miracle in whatever God has given you. I don't know. I just pray the Spirit translates this message to whatsoever situation. And maybe I haven't mentioned, maybe your problem is not a house or a TV or a car. I don't know what it is. But I pray that the Spirit may help you get to that place of thanksgiving, to stop complaining and understand that he's got this, he's got you, and that you shall be like Mount Zion. You shall not be shaken, you shall endure forever. Just shake it off, give thanks, because as I've said, when I remember the wonder, when I remember just those small tiny things, they change your attitude, and suddenly all the dark clouds are blown away. It's just sunshine bright, and all the birds are chirping, heaven is applauding you, singing for you. So do not lose the wonder, do not lose that. Some people, I sing, I love singing very well, and of course I've written songs, but in ink. And so when I write them, I record them, using the phone recorder. I record them, and then they stay on the phone, right? So they're just complaining, oh God, you've taken long. There's that studio thing where you go to the studio, then you record like professionally, and then you release the album.